everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lacquer Lover, and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A coupled with just organizing my nail art album. So, I did get questions about my whole nail art journey and stuff, but basically I'm just going to explain right now in case anyone has questions. But basically I just draw my sketches on index cards, and then I look at them as a reference image for when I'm painting the design in my tutorial. And yes, I do actually have a sketchbook as well, and maybe I could do a video on that just because it shows more of my thought process, whereas these are more of the finalized products before I transfer them onto my nails. But yes, I like to draw them on these index cards so that they're more I can move them around and they're not taking up a lot of space, because I do end up with a lot of nail polish bottles on my desk when I do my tutorials, and it's kind of messy and just not good if I accidentally spill it on my book. So I just have little cards, and the last time I organized this album was in April, and it's seriously a mess. It's such a mess that I don't even know what happened to this first one. Disappeared. I believe it's underneath this one. Yeah, it's just a mess. Today I'm not going to be cleaning up this album. I actually have more right here to include. So yes, it's just so much. I can't process. I've done so many designs since the last time I organized this, which was in April. So that's insane. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to fix all of them. I'm just gonna leave it. But yeah, we're kind of walking down memory lane. Actually, there are a couple that I added since the video. I don't actually know. I think the last one I did was maybe this one, but then I've added all these other ones since. There's a lot because, this was kind of the start of summer and I didn't get to film that. But now I have maybe end of summer to fall to winter, and then we have a good amount of them. So that's kind of insane, but I'm going to be organizing these into the album here, which I got from Muji, and I'm going to be answering your questions. And I have a good number of questions that kind of talk about the same thing, so I'll probably end up answering them, all together. It's just going to be a good old story time, narrative type of thing. So let's just get into this video. Okay, so here's the first one. This is actually the design I have on my nails right now. It's the tutorial that I posted yesterday, and it's my best of BTS for 2019, or 2019 in review as I titled it. Yeah, that's one of my favorite designs currently. Okay, the first question I have is, what first drew you into K-pop, and specifically BTS? So what drew me into K-pop was really a family member. The first K-pop song I listened to was Wonder Girl's Nobody, and it was really the hype back when I listened to it. Everyone was talking about it, everyone knew that song, and this family member was a pretty big K-pop fan at that point. Now, even if you recommend a K-pop song to her, she would not listen to it. So times have really changed, but yes, I discovered K-pop through her. I knew it was Korean music, and then the next time I encountered K-pop was literally during a car service. I was going to some family event, and I might have just been with my mom or something in the car, and we heard Girls' Generation's G on the radio, and I really didn't think much about it. I just thought it sounded good, but I never got to know the title or who the artist was. But it was just definitely one of my goals ever since then, was to find out who sang that song, and I eventually did when I got into K-pop by myself. But I feel how I got into K-pop was through kind of Korean dramas. I just ended up in this rabbit hole where I watched Korean dramas with K-pop idols in them, and then I started growing my interest in Korean music. And yes, I remember in 2013 I was having kind of a hard time. I was kind of stuck in this rut, and I was looking for a new hobby just to get my mind off of things, and eventually I stumbled upon literally following Korean dramas episode by episode and watching them even before the English subtitles came out. And mind you, at that time my Korean was not developed enough to watch the episodes without subs, so it was not a good idea. But I don't know, I just kind of became more obsessed with just Korean stuff. Yeah, and so ended up getting into K-pop as well at that time. And yeah, I ended up becoming a casual listener of so many groups. Ended up finding out that that song that I had heard in the car was Girls' Generation's, oh, it wasn't G, it was Genie, sorry about that. And yeah, ever since then it's been a pretty wild ride. And then actually, to be honest with you, I listened to a lot of girl groups, and I even wanted to learn the dances at one point, and that was in 2014, but I quickly discovered that my body is not coordinated, so that did not happen. But in 2015, I voluntarily went and listened to BTS. Now, prior to this, my friend had been urging me to listen to to BTS for so long. Like, I mean, ever since she found out that I also listened to K-pop, she was like, you have to listen to this new group, BTS, in like 2014, maybe even 2013, I can't remember. But I just, you know, was listening to other things and more focused in Korean dramas, and also they were not part of the big three, which I listened to at that time. I feel like I was a pretty big SM stan, so like I just was like, why am I gonna listen to BTS? So it was really bad. Please don't have those prejudices, and also don't just jump on the like bandwagon of liking them. I actually genuinely really like their music, and I was really surprised in like summer of 2015. I was like, wow, dope, I need you, they are seriously such bops, and I had to stand. So I did. I actually made my Twitter then, like my private Twitter, I guess, and it's just been a wild ride since then. And I did get a question like, who's your bias? My bias is Jungkook, and the reason, or like how he became my bias, is because of Dope, like his police officer outfit, costume, and Dope, like Can We Even, also his hair. Yes. Also, I feel like then I really had a thing for like the younger members, so that was another factor. I mean, not the younger, the youngest, like the maknae. And what else? Also because of this performance of Dope, and if I can find it, I will obviously include it. He was wearing a hoodie, and just something about that, I was like, I think that was the specific moment where I said, this is my bias, and I can only look at him. Like, I seriously can't see anyone else. It was really insane. It was like there was a spotlight on him, and I still remember those emotions and feelings to this day, so it's really crazy. And that's like the most kind of concrete thing that I can say about when I started standing BTS, because like everything else is kind of blurry. I'll tell you guys the story moving on, but yes. Also, I listened to a K-pop idol groups B-sides for the first time, so like songs other than their title tracks, and damn, Love Is Not Over and Hwan Yeonhwa Part 1, which was obviously the album that was like their most recent release at the time I started standing. Like, oh my goodness, I heard Jungkook's voice and I was just hooked. Like, I loved his voice, I loved his face, and I loved everything about him. And also I ended up watching so many Bangtan bombs, and I just loved him in those as well. So I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like I have my true love. But at that time, I was also still listening to a lot of other groups, so I wasn't like tuning out other groups. I definitely just added BTS to my radar, so like it's kind of confusing, you know, if you could say that I was even like a true ARMY. Like, I like to consider myself one just because I had this interesting story of getting into them that was so like, just, I don't know how to put it into words, but it was very different from how I got into other groups. So there's that. And also just I remember being so excited for my first comeback, which was Run, obviously, but then in 2016 I wasn't so into Fire, and I also wasn't so into Blood Sweat Tears. I liked Save Me in the middle, but I don't know, I just feel like my love for them kind of was like a little extinguished, I guess, or like my passion for them was a little lower in 2016. But when they came back with Not Today, I absolutely loved it. I didn't really like Spring Day at first, which you can say is like a true crime, but I really was not a big fan of Spring Day at that time. I guess I just needed something that was more hype, and Not Today really delivered that for me. And actually that is like, I feel like that is one of the more emotional parts of Speak Yourself tour to me, because I like finally heard Not Today, and I never expected to be able to do that ever. So that, yes, one of the most memorable parts of my 2019. And yeah, flash forward to today, I'm doing honestly the most now as an ARMY. I feel very much involved compared to previous years, and it's not even like the stuff that I own and the stuff that I go to, like the events. It's not even that. It's like I just feel like I'm talking to more people and just, I don't know how to say it, but like kind of participating in more things, whether that is like in person or just like online. So yes. So that is my story of how I got into BTS, and every day my heart grows bigger and bigger for them. My love is just kind of expanding exponentially. And so that is my super long story. We could have just had a whole video about how I got into BTS. Next question is, can you recommend some nail polish brand? And I don't talk about my favorite brand that much, I guess. If you watch my nail polish hauls, you would kind of know, but my favorite brand of all time is Essie, and there's like sentimental value and also like just truly I love them because of their colors and everything like that. But I'm pretty sure the first polish that I genuinely loved was Essie's Mint Candy Apple, and yeah, whenever I go and pick up another bottle of that, I just remember how I like took it from my mom. It was just so funny. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like most girls have those kind of stories to tell of how they like sew their mother's makeup or whatever. But for me, I took her nail polish. I don't even know why she had that color. It was interesting, but yeah. Next question is, do you like other groups? So I did mention that I was a casual listener back in like 2014, 15, 16, not so much 17, but as for other groups, pretty much the groups that I've done nail art for, I liked 101 a lot in 2018, like pretty much up until they disbanded. What else? I like Astro. I like their cuter concept more than the current, what was it called, like Blue Flame. Oh my god, we're like almost done with organizing this stuff, but I'll keep doing my Q&A, of course. Alright, so like I like those boy groups, and that's basically it. And then for girl groups, I definitely like a lot of girl groups and solo artists. So I like Girls' Generation and like all the solos that have come out of it. Some of my favorites, I really like I forgot the name of the song, but Soyeon's solo, the one that she released like under SM before she left, and also Taeyeon, of course, with all of her solos. And like I love Girls' Generation. I don't even know if I had like, I feel like my bias switched a lot, so like I can't say who was my bias there, but Red Velvet, I really like Sistar because they really warmed up my summers when they were still together. And I like Twice. I definitely feel like I like them more now compared to in the past, just because their past concepts were not so much my thing. Yeah. So there's that. And what else? I like G-Friend for some time. G-Friend, I actually knew them since debut. I was literally watching the live stream that had their debut stage, like their first stage ever, and I was really surprised. I remember seeing the comments how everyone was like, they're gonna be so big and stuff like that, and I don't know, I was like skeptical because like at that time it's not easy to become big when you're not from the big three. And even then they debuted in 2015, so like, you know, we didn't really have they were still underdogs, like Kara, I think, back when, you know, Girls' Generation and Wonder Girls were really big. Like they were big, but they were from a small company, but it was just super rare, you know, like to be really big, but they ended up being big, and that was really cool. Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of groups. I would say that I still listen to some groups here and there, but definitely a lot less than before. I also just have less time because there's just other things I need to do now compared to in the past. So there's that. And the next question is, since when did you start standing BTS? I started standing BTS in 2015. around like June, July time, like end of June, I guess you could say. Mid to late June is my guess. I don't have the exact date. I have no idea. What is your favorite Bangtan era album, song, and why? My favorite Bangtan era, it's really hard to choose between 화양연화 화양연화, I guess, and then Love Yourself, but I guess they're like related. Maybe if I had to choose, I would have to choose Love Yourself because I feel like I grew so much from that era. I really matured, and I also saw them mature, and I just really like the message they preached during that era. I also love the concepts and everything. I love the title tracks, so I would say Love Yourself. My favorite album is Love Yourself Answer. I just love everything on there. I have it on repeat a lot, actually. That's probably the album that I listen to the most out of their discography. Not even really because it's the most recent, because I do love some really old songs and I put those on repeat as well, but I just love how put together this album is and just really flows together, so I love that sound. And my favorite Bangtan song, it's so hard to choose, but obviously there are some songs that I like for kind of nostalgia, like songs that made me get into them, like Dope and I Need You. But there's also songs that I just really like because I like their lyrics, or there's songs that I like because I like the performance. And also, you know, there's sentimental value for my first comeback with Run. So yeah, okay, but I'll kind of give my default answer whenever anyone asks me, and it's kind of like weird, I guess, but my favorite song is Paradise, just based on the lyrics, and this is kind of related to the song that RM released, not RM, but Yuna released featuring RM yesterday, Winter Flower. In that song, he mentioned that life is like a paradox, and why do we have to get used to this marathon? And marathon, like, it's referenced in Paradise, and I really like lyrics about this marathon, or like running after something when you don't even know what you're running after, because I relate to that at this point in my life, and so Paradise is my favorite for the lyrics. Yes. Okay, and the next question is, how did you learn Korean? Any tips? How did I learn Korean? So I'm kind of self-taught, I guess you could say. I picked up a lot of vocabulary from Korean dramas, and I also know Chinese, so there's a lot of vocabulary that is kind of borrowed and also sounds very similar to Chinese, so that was a little helpful there. I'm not saying that they are super similar, because I know there are some aspects of Korean that are more similar to Japanese, but any of like this family, is it even a family of languages? I don't even know, but like if you know Chinese or Japanese or both, like I feel like it will really help you. It's not going to, you know, automatically make you fluent, but it does give you kind of a leg up. So yes, but obviously if you don't know those languages, don't just go learn them just to help you with this. Like obviously if you're going to learn a language and you don't know the others, just learn this one language. I picked it up from Korean dramas, and now I would say that like a lot of me studying Korean is like through lyrics, because I do end up studying BTS's lyrics a lot more now, so there's that. I haven't watched dramas in a long time, but I should. I was going to watch Sky Castle, even though it's been such a long time, but I don't know, it just doesn't pull me in, so maybe I'll have to watch something else. I've been thinking about, you know, going on a whole K-drama marathoning, whatever, but we'll see whatever happens. We'll see what happens. And yes, speaking of Korean dramas, no one asked, because I guess no one even knew that I watched a lot of them, and that was like a serious Korean drama junkie, but my favorite Korean drama is like, I really like Lee Jong-seok, and I also really like Ji-sung's dramas, and it's kind of weird. You might think that like I really like Ji-sung because he's kind of old, but like he's such a good actor, and I still think he's so handsome. I really like, oh, I don't even know. It's the one with the multiple personalities, and why am I blanking out and can't remember what it's called? But oh, Kill Me, Heal Me. Yeah, I really like that drama. I just love all of his dramas, and I really like I Can Hear Your Voice, which has his wife Lee Bo-young and Lee Jong-seok together. So yeah, I don't know. I know I definitely watch a lot of dramas. I can't give you like, you know, a favorite. I'm probably gonna kick myself after this video after I realize what my actual favorite is. But you know, there are those like very highly sensationalized ones like Goblin and whatever. So yes. Oh my god. There's this, what's that drama called? The Man from the Stars or something like that. Oh my god, that like really shows how long I've been into this stuff, because I watched that when the episodes were coming out. So oh my goodness. Yeah, but basically I just watched so many dramas that I ended up just understanding everything and not needing English subs. So I actually don't need English subs when I see new BTS content. And there's times when I even try to translate, but I mean, I feel like I'm not good enough to translate, maybe not yet, but I also learn it in school. And I feel like learning it in school is a very useful tool, because you learn more like grammar, but I would say vocabulary and stuff you can really pick up just from like watching stuff, listening to your friends talk if you have Korean friends, and just immersing yourself into the culture in any way that you can. So yeah, I mean, with the internet these days, you can do that without visiting the country, so that's amazing. But if you can visit the country, that would be great. You can practice your Korean. So yeah. Any tips? I feel like those are my tips. If you struggle with memorizing words or like remembering them and kind of bringing them from your memory and actually using them, then I would say like keeping a little journal and writing down your new words and, you know, how to pronounce them and everything is a really useful thing to do. And of course, learning how to read and write is very useful. I don't even remember when I actually learned that, but yeah, now it's just easier. Like, I can read articles and stuff and don't rely on romanization. I don't even know the last time I used romanization. It's just so hard to write in and so hard to read. It's mind-boggling to me, but yes, I'm still learning. I don't feel like I am good at it at all. But thank you guys so much for all the praise that you've been giving me. It's really such a big compliment to me. I don't even know how to respond to it. Okay, moving on. Next question is related to my whole K-pop story. When did you get into K-pop? I feel like I got into K-pop by myself in 2012, 2013. I don't know if I answered that already, but there you go again. What is something you struggle with about nail art? I honestly don't know how to answer this question, because I feel like every struggle that I have, I kind of turn it into something that I learn from and something that is no longer a struggle. So it's really hard for me to like think of something that, you know, really irks me or like that I really have trouble with. But maybe, I don't know. I feel like coming up with the idea is definitely one of the biggest struggles. Actually painting it is not a big thing at all. It's really just kind of painting like on paper, you know, but just on very small scale. And I used to make miniatures actually, so I'm used to working with very small things. So that's not like an issue with me, or like having a steady hand also is not an issue per se, because like I used to be a very crafty person and make really small things, so my hands have to be steady. But yeah, I would say coming up with the idea is definitely one of the biggest hurdles. And this is not just, you know, it doesn't just have to do with nail art. It has to do with any kind of creative thing you want to do. And the next question I have is super long, so I'm going to try to answer all parts of it. How do you feel about the Hyung line always being underappreciated compared to Maknae line? So, about this question, I obviously am really like hurt by this, because I love all the members. I'm OT7, no matter how much I love Jungkook and Jimin and also Tae, you know, the Maknae line. I mean, I just don't understand it. I've never understood it, because Hyungline is, you know, the foundation of the group musically, and they do so much for the group. And also Jin is just Jin. Like, I feel so much comfort from Jin, so I don't really understand how anyone could love them any less. Like, it makes no sense to me, and I feel like we should all appreciate all the members. Yeah, I honestly don't know how to answer this question, because every time I think about how like little love Hyungline gets, it's just so weird to me. Like, I mean, we should be showering them with love, and yet very few people do that. But I just feel like it's unfair, I guess. But also you can't stop people who love Magnaline to like love them more, you know. It's just love, and everyone is kind of entitled to their own feelings. So yeah, I don't know, we just have to fight love with love and just keep loving all the members if you do, and maybe that will do something. I don't know. But the next question is also, which member would you want to be your best friend, brother, and husband? So for best friend, actually, this is a good question because, wow. For best friend, I would have to say Namjoon, because I just feel like I would have some very insightful conversations with him, and I kind of lack that in my life. I don't really have people that I can really have like deep conversations with, but I feel like Namjoon would be a really great friend. You know, I kind of imagine a friend as someone who kind of like a wall, someone you can like talk to, but also someone you can like bounce ideas off of and that will respond to you. So I feel like Namjoon would be a very great best friend. And for brother, I would have to say I want Jin as my brother, my older brother. I feel like I've always had that kind of fantasy because I feel like Jin is just just someone I would be so comfortable around, and someone that I can rely on, but not in this romantic way, more of just kind of like as an older brother, someone who will take care of you and just be nice to you and just be like someone you can joke around with as well. I really see like bigger brother like energy and vibe from Jin. And for husband, obviously my biases are Jungkook and Jimin, and it's kind of hard to choose between them. I honestly don't know. I feel like my answer to this would change every single day, but for now I'm going to say Jimin, even though JK was like my first bias. Like the one that I biased first out of the two. And I chose Jimin just because maybe like right now I feel like I'm more compatible with Jimin because I don't know. Because I feel like JK is almost too out of my league, and like he's always a thrill seeker, and I can be a thrill seeker with him, but I just feel like, I don't know, maybe my personality will like mesh with Jimin's more, but I don't know, sometimes both of them be wild, so I don't know. And honestly, I'm kind of a timid person, so I don't even know how that would work out. But next question is, who is your favorite BT21 character? And my favorite BT21 character is Chimmy. Yes, you can go check out my BT21 collection videos if you would like to see what that situation is right now. Next question is, which episode of BTS Run is your favorite and why? My favorite BTS Run, what's it called? Run BTS episode is the Hunger Day one that they did in fall, and that is just because I felt bad for Jimin, or the Blue Village one. If I really had to choose one out of the two, I honestly can't choose because both of them are so funny, and I just like how they were deceiving one another, and they're kind of, yeah, it's just funny. I can't choose, but Hunger Day was really funny because just poor Jimin, I just can't. He was so naive. The next question is, what is your all-time favorite BTS song and why? I already answered this one. It's Paradise. So let's move on. Okay, next question is, what got you into nail art? What got me into nail art was just seeing a lot of nail art on YouTube, and then I ended up watching a lot of videos. They kept getting suggested, and the YouTubers I watched were like Cute Polish. There was one called like I Have Cupcake, and there were a lot, but I feel like they aren't on YouTube anymore, so I don't even remember. But yeah, also I watched some like stamping ones and some water marble YouTubers, so there's that. But for myself, getting into nail art, I don't know, I just wanted my nails to be pretty, I guess. I feel like there was a special event that I had, and then I was like, afterwards I just really liked how my nails looked, so I was like, why not turn it into something more amazing? And so I ended up doing more like, you know, freehand stuff. And for K-pop itself, I don't know, I just saw like K-pop nail art here and there on the internet, and I thought, oh, maybe I can do that myself, and I got myself into it, and then I just really enjoyed doing it because it was just another way to express my creativity and also be able to wear that creativity and potentially show it off. So yeah, there's that. And the next question is, what's your favorite nail art that you have done? And this question is super, super, super hard to answer because I've done so many in the past year. Like, I've literally done nail art for every single song on the Map of the Soul Persona track list. And speaking of which, they announced the comeback. Like, are you kidding me? Map of the Soul 7. Are you kidding me? Pre-orders are literally tomorrow and I'm kind of freaking out. Also, that means the tour is coming very soon. But yeah, I've done that. I've also done BTS World OST soundtrack. Like, there's just so much to go off of. And also I did some in 2018. But I guess like my favorite nail art would either have to be my profile picture one or my Euphoria one, or even the one that I have on my nails currently. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. I also like the army one that I did. I can't choose one, there's no way. They're all like my babies and I spent so much time and so much thought and like put all my sincerity and everything into it. So yes. Oh, and I also really like my promise one. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. I would say it's pretty easy to kind of see which ones are my favorites. Some of them I feel like you can really see how much effort I put into them and how much I genuinely like enjoyed painting them, if that makes any sense. Or maybe it's just me that sees it. Okay, so the next question is, what's your inspiration to make YouTube videos? My inspiration, I don't know, BTS. I'm not even joking. I don't get inspiration from any other content creator or like YouTuber. Like, I watch unboxings and I mean, I can't really get inspired to do unboxings. It's just whatever I end up buying. And who inspired you to start a YouTube channel? Now, the start of my YouTube channel, it is also kind of an interesting story. I kind of mentioned it in my kind of idol remake video, but basically a friend was saying that I should post my nail art on Instagram, and it was just Instagram. Like, she never really told me to post it on YouTube, and she was like, if you don't do it, then I will make an account, which now it sounds really weird to me because it is my art after all, and it sounds really weird that anyone would want to like take ownership of an account that has my art on it. But anyways, at that point I was like pretty excited about that. I was like, that's like a really cool idea. So yeah, but I mean, I just thought that Instagram, it felt very kind of still and stagnant, and like I couldn't really express everything that I wanted to on that platform. So I created a YouTube channel so that I could share with you guys the process of painting the design, so that, I don't know, I could humanize the design so you could see how much goes into it, and also all the trial and error that's behind everything that you see on Instagram, and that it's not just as simple as it looks. So that is why I started a YouTube channel. And ever since then, it's been pretty wild, and I really enjoy being on here. So there's that. And the next question is, when and why did you get into nail art? I feel like I answered that question. So there's that. I didn't even realize I wrote so many repeats down. The next question is related to BTS. What was the most memorable BTS concert / performance that you've attended? I've only seen BTS 3 times in my life, and that was at Citi Field, MetLife Stadium, and then New Year's Rockin' Eve like a week ago. Yeah, so it's only 3 times. I guess it's pretty easy to pick which one. I would have to say Citi Field because I just had such a peaceful experience there. It was just out of this world. I feel like my soul left me and went to some pastel purple galaxy, and then by the end of it I was sucked back to reality. Disgusting reality though. But yeah, I mean, the most memorable, like why this was the most memorable concert was because of Namjoon's speech. I just remember feeling like, I can't believe that these are words coming out of his mouth. And I've always seen like really emotional speeches like meant from him in like concerts and also in interviews and at the UN, but I couldn't believe that I was hearing it in person. So there's that. And it was also my first concert ever, so just hearing them live for the first time ever, I was just so excited and so emotional at the same time. So yeah, also I didn't really feel like I needed to film anything then. I was definitely surrounded by people who didn't really film or like take pictures, and I was influenced in that way. So I feel like it was more memorable because I just looked at everything through my eyes. And so it's like hard to pull up any proof or evidence of like what I saw and stuff like that, but I just know in my heart what I saw. So I feel like that's the most memorable. Everything that you feel, I feel is like in your heart. it's just more memorable rather than just like some video you have recorded. So that is the most memorable BTS concert, and everything was just so new to me. I felt like a baby. And yeah, so there's that. And the next question is, when did you start nail art? I started nail art in like June of 2015, and I already shared my little backstory. And the last question is actually, I really like this question, and it just kind of sends us looking into the future. It's, where do you want to visit? I have a multitude of places that I want to visit, and this is not in any particular order, but I want to visit South Korea for obvious reasons. I really want the reason that I go there to be for BTS, so we'll see what happens. I want to go to Italy, France, Greece, China, and Iceland, and yes. Really excited. I don't know, I might include more Asian countries on the list, but I just haven't done that much research. But like, I want to go to Italy for the food, I want to go to France for the food and also for shopping, and Greece, like I want to look at the beaches, and China, like that's where I'm from. And also it's just so big, and there's so many places I can go to besides like where I'm from. So yeah, there's also Iceland, because the sights there are just so beautiful, and nature, wow. Yeah, like now that I've seen BTS in like nature in New Zealand, I really want to go experience something like that, but in Iceland. So there's that. But I mean, even before I became like this obsessed with BTS, I've always wanted to go to Iceland. I've seen Iceland in like documentaries and movies, and it always just looks so beautiful, and there's some really fun and interesting facts about Iceland. So I definitely want to go there to experience it for myself. And yeah, that is basically it. I really talked so much in this video, but I also just, you know, added everything in here. Should I like flip through this so you guys can see? Let's just start from where we started. I guess here. So that is basically it for my first Q&A video. It was a tad bit long, but I hope I was able to answer all of your questions to the fullest. I might do another Q&A in the future, you know, if more people come to visit us. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know me a little bit better, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye everyone!